E360 TV proudly presents messages of inspirational stories. Live streaming now to millions of devices, including Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Android TV, YouTube Live, Facebook Live, with your host, Donna Guinois, producer and host, Jim Grant, producer and host, along with Michaela Vidal, administrator and host, and Gaia Guinois Balconi Wada, editor-in-chief. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. We are so happy because we're very excited too. If you notice, this is season 6. This is our 6th season here on E360 TV network, and we're very excited about our new fall programming. In the past, as you've known, if you follow us, we cover theme weeks. We would take a particular topic for 1 week and just go all the way through it from the alpha to the omega. But now we have shifted gears. We have had to decide to make some programs instead. Starting on today, Monday, Making a Difference in Business. Every single Monday, you will hear topics about making a difference in business. And that means when you're successful in your business, you're going to be successful in your life. You're going to be successful to help other people. And we're going to cover a full gamut of stuff there. We're just going to barely get into a little bit of it today because of the announcements. But you can imagine when you're in business, you're going to need some help. You're going to need some networking. You're going to need some good advice. And we're going to bring all that focus only on Monday. So every single Monday, you can tune in. And if those of you that's interested in business, and you can get good information there. Now, also, too, I'd like to put up our email address there, Inspiration E360 TV, because you can reach us here at any time, and one of our staff members will get it and make sure you get the information you need in the event that you want to say, hey, tell me more, or I missed something here, or whatever the question might be. And you may want to, send us some information as I go through and share with you the rest of the shows we've got coming up on our new fall program. We're just really excited about it. Every Tuesday, we're going to be covering issues on natural health. We're going to be covering everything from cures to, herbs and everything like that. So everything to do with to enhance our natural health. We're going to be covering that every single Tuesday. Wednesday, oh my goodness gracious. This is going to be youth leadership. I started to say youth leadership. See how excited I am? Youth leadership. And what we're looking for there, we're going to be, sharing some information with the TV audience about youth that are, entrepreneurs. We got a lot of young kids that are entrepreneurs. It opens the door for mentors who are providing good, positive leadership for our youth, because this is something that's critically needed, not only in America, but around the world, especially with all the doom and gloom going on. And Thursday, Donna's going to get after me on this one here. But we're calling our show Pets on TV. Donna said, well, we just dropped the TV. I said, no, because we're going to be doing stories about the animals that we love. We've all seen animals that have done heroic things. Everything from saving a life to making us crack up with laughter. And for those of you that have great videos and you'd like for us to share it on the TV show about your pets, Pets on TV, that will be every Thursday. Every Thursday. So you'll know when you can see it and all that. Just get in touch with us here at the station, Inspiration E360 TV. Then on Friday, another powerful show. We're wrapping up the week with a very powerful show called Women in Leadership. This is going to be ladies from all walks of life, starting with some of the military women that we know, and also women that become mentors younger females. And of course, women can be mentors to men too, young boys and stuff. I mean, there's no barriers there. There's no limits. So anyway, going over the list again, on Monday, we're going to be making a difference in business. That's going to be every single Monday from the rest of this year. Tuesday will be national health. That has everything to do with our natural health. I said national health, didn't I? I meant natural health. I'm so excited today, and Donna's not here. Everybody's busy behind the scenes taking care of things going on in their lives, and we're getting everything together. Emerson right now, as I told you Friday, he was on the show Friday. He's actually on a train right now, traveling from Jacksonville to Orlando, and we've talked several times, and he is just really excited like I am. And he was telling me, he says, when I get down there, he says, I've got to do the press releases. So I've got to make sure. I told him natural health, not national health. Good help's hard to find sometimes. I apologize for that, ladies and gentlemen. So on Tuesday, natural health. We're going to be having we're going to have Dr. Clearfield on tomorrow. And we're going to be bringing in some other people who are subject matter experts, not just tomorrow, but throughout every single Tuesday for the rest of the year. Then on Wednesday, again, it's youth leadership. Thursday, pets on TV. And Friday, women in leadership. We feel that's a very powerful program that we can offer for the fall lineup. And we're all very excited about it. And we're just looking so forward to share that great information to you. And we know that a lot of you out there are going to enjoy it. You're going to embrace it because now you can zero in on specific days or times to get the pertinent information in your life. Whereas theme weeks, we stretched everything out for, I don't want to say stretch it, we had to cover things for 5 days. But this is going to be interesting. I'll just have to remember to say it's natural health on Tuesday and not national health. Oh, my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get started today, in our national today, oh, my goodness gracious. Today is National Chocolate Milkshake Day. Oh, when I was a kid and went to the counter there, the ice cream counter, or any counter like in Woolworths. You remember those? For us baby boomers, they had these counters, these delis, and all that in the department stores. And going there was a treat. And I mean, mother'd ask me, "What do you want?" What do you think I said as a kid? Chocolate milkshake. And today is Chocolate Milkshake Day. And be sure if you enjoy chocolate milkshake, today's a day to get a good one. It really is. Also, too, this is a very special day to me because I have a lot of respect for people in law enforcement. My grandson is a police officer in Houston. My son James was a Texas State Trooper. And today is National Police Woman Day. You got to respect these ladies who go out and they really want to give back to their community. They want to serve. They want to keep the community safe. And that's the way we should look at our law enforcement because they are there to protect us and to keep our country and our homes and our lives safe. So if you ladies out there that wear the uniform, that have taken an oath to protect me and everybody else, I got to salute you. Thank you so much. And, for you folks that, if you see a police officer or a trooper, state trooper, anything like that, don't look at them as the enemy. That's the ignorant and the narrow-minded because they're just everyday people like you and me. They have family and they care about their community and their surroundings. They're not people that become police officers just to say, growing up, I always wanted to be a thug and beat up on people. There's a lot of people that believe that that's what's going on, and it's not. The fact of it is you get what you receive, and you're going to give. And when you give something, that's exactly what you're going to receive back. So be careful on what you give because you're going to receive it back. But if you just say thank you for, your service They would appreciate that. So you ladies out there wearing a uniform, again, I've got to salute you. It's really a nice thing we can recognize, the men and women for that matter in the that serve our country in law enforcement. Also, this is a day that they recognize as being a day of the National Day of Encouragement. We need that National Day of Encouragement every single day of our life, don't we? Because we think about the things that we can tell someone or say to someone to lift them up or help them in their hour of need, make them feel good, or let them know that you're even thinking about them. And everybody needs a word of encouragement. I mean, we need that like we need oxygen. We really, truly do. And so take a few moments out of your time. Think about someone maybe you haven't spoken to in weeks or months or whatever, and get in touch with them. Just send them one or two lines on a little message or text or whatever, and just say, "Hey, thinking of you. Hope you're doing okay." And it's so important for us to remember people like that because yesterday I had one of these pop-ups that come up on Facebook. 8 years ago, you and this person became friends on Facebook. And it was my dear friend, Paul Tuttle. Paul passed away on October the 4th, 2018. And I knew he was dealing with health issues, but true to his school, he did not really share the seriousness of it. I mean, I knew it wasn't, I knew it was serious, but I mean, he did not share, just how far down the road he was, you might say. And me and Evelyn and Lisa, we were on our way to Arizona. We had stopped in Luckenbach, Texas on our way there. And we were looking around, and just, relaxing, just sightseeing along the way as we drove. And I got a call from Paul's wife, Candy. And she says, "Jim, I want to let you know that we lost Paul this morning." And that hit me pretty hard. And the reason I'm sharing that with you is because it did, popped up on there. We've been friends for 8 years, even though him and we served together in 1969 and 1970 in Tay Ninh, Vietnam, at MACV Team 90 in Tay Ninh East. But I was so thankful that I'd send him a couple of messages. "Hey, brother, I'm thinking of you. I appreciate you and I love you." Because think how badly I would have felt if I had not have reached out to my brother and knowing that he was dealing with, physical issues. So that's why it's very, very important for us to remember the National Day of Encouragement should be a day, it should be part of our lives. Should be part of who we are. We should think about it about as often as we get up in the morning and think about our favorite drink, be it a cup of coffee or whatever it is. It should be that we should be that familiar with us. And ladies and gentlemen, I tell you, when we talk about, getting into the theme of, when I say the theme, the topic of this particular program, making a difference in business. I couldn't think of a better way to start than to mention the 12 things that Napoleon Hill says that makes us rich. Because remember now, when you're in business to enhance not only your life, but everyone else's life, including charities and others that you can help that you may not even know. Because that's what it's all about, is giving. Because the more you give, the more you receive. And you can't outgive the master giver. We all understand that. The very first thing that tops the list is a positive mental attitude. We hear people tell us all the time, "Hey, think positive." Well, that's easy peasy to say those words, but how do you do it? And I've got to give a shout out to my good friend here, Mr. Bill Heinrich. He is the author of this book here, The 7 Levels of Truth, And I'm going to put Bill's website and all up there. He's a good friend of ours. He helps support the show, and he helps support everything that we do here. But Bill covers it very well. He says there's only two emotions in life. There's love and there is fear. And fear and love cannot coexist. So to have a positive mental attitude, what you got to do is realize that everything in the physical world is limited. Even fear is limited. Even hate's limited. Everything has a limitation. You may not realize that, but it does. Whereas love has no limitations at all. It really, truly doesn't. And love in abundance, once you release that fear, once you say, okay, this is bothering me, but I'm not going to let it consume me. I'm not going to let it wear me down. I'm not going to let it just get all over me like a case of fleas on a good old hound dog, because I'm not going to give it that much satisfaction. I'm not going to let it control my life like that. I'm going to take charge. I'm going to have a positive mental attitude, because everything that I dislike in my life, everything that doesn't serve me, and I'm not talking about being egotistical here when I say that, but everything doesn't serve me, because if it serves me, it means I can serve others. That's what I'm talking about. And let all of that go. Let it go. Because all it's going to do, if you hang on to it and embrace it, it's going to enslave you. It's going to rob you of your joy, your jubilee, and your happiness. My goodness. And Bill covers that very well in his book, The 7 Levels of Truth. And I just want to put up Bill's information there, if I may. Let me find it here right quick. I got to, do all the little button pushing here and all. And this is the book that I showed you there, The 7 Levels of Truth by Bill Heinrich. And this is Bill's website here, True Life Purpose Now. Now, the reason why I put it on there, if you would like to have a free complimentary 30-minute consultation with Bill Heinrich, all you have to do is contact him and just say, hey, Jim told me on the TV show I could contact you and you would give me a complimentary 30-minute consultation. He will be more than happy. I'm going to tell you something. And I'm very, very serious about this. Bill and I we were all down at Speaking Empire in Largo, Florida. And we had taken a break. And I'd walked into the big break area there. And Bill was just sitting there drinking a cup of coffee. So I went over and I got a cup of coffee. And I came over and I sat down across from him. And when I sat down across from him, I was just going to say, hey, brother, how you doing? Talk to him a little bit. And what Bill does, he started asking me questions. He wasn't rude or anything like that, but he was asking me questions on things that he had seen in me. And he says, Jim, have you considered? And he gave me options. And within 10 minutes of talking to Bill Heinrich, that inspired me to create the course called The Future Is Now. And Bill Heinrich was the inspiration behind that. And he didn't tell me to do it. That's the beauty of it. What Bill shared with me, he woke up something in me I didn't know I had. And because we've all been there when we feel like, hey, I should do this. This would bless someone else. But many times we procrastinate. In my particular case, I had never thought about doing that. So the reason I share that with you, you can easily see sitting down with Bill, and he's just going to ask you some questions. And it's not like a psychic reading or anything like that. But he brings out some of the things that you really need to hear. And when you hear the truth about something you need to do or your calling in life, you're gonna know it. And it's going to inspire you. So that's why I encourage you to please get in touch with Mr. Bill Heinrich there at truelifepurposenow.com and just say, Jim told me on the TV show that I could get a complimentary 30-minute consultation with you. And he'll say, absolutely, because he'll schedule it with you. He sure will, at a time that you guys can both meet. And I promise you this, you will be glad you did. I personally give you my word on that, and I personally endorse that, because that's one of the things that will help you. A lot of people say, think positive, think positive, think positive, play tapes, do this, buy this book, buy that. If you don't understand what's going on inside of you, and that 30-minute call from Bill can help clean that up, you're pushing a chain uphill. Now, the second thing that list that Napoleon Hill put on his list of the 12 things that makes people rich is sound physical health. And we're going to be covering a lot of that every single Tuesday with our natural health. I know you just listened to me. So if I was going to say national health, I know the way you are out there. That's okay. Go ahead and giggle at me. I'm fine with it. But having sound physical health, that is something that we're all entitled to. You have the right to enjoy a sound, physical, healthy body and mind. You really do. And the third thing that makes people rich in life is harmony in human relations. Oh my goodness gracious. Now let's start cleaning this up a little bit, or maybe putting it together might be a better way of saying it. But you think about, you're getting rid of all the fear, all of the negative things, the hate, the aggravations in life, the things that don't serve you. And I'm not talking about, again, appealing to your ego. I'm talking about serving you to where you can serve others. In other words, what serves you blesses you, and you're going to turn that blessing on and pass it on to someone else. That's what I'm talking about. But the things that don't bless you, that do not serve you, you need to get rid of those. And when you apply that, think about how much easier it's going to be for you to have a good, harmonious relationship with your family and your friends. We're all social creatures. And there's one common thing that we need, just like we need oxygen, and that is we need love. I've heard it said, I'm not going to name the individual, but they were an atheist, and they were filled with hate, and they would curse God and all that. But on their deathbed, and this was reported by a reliable source, I don't want to mention the name. On the deathbed, the individual says, the one thing I regret about my life, I wish I had someone that loved me. Think about that. Love is one of the greatest things that can make you rich. So when we talk about making a difference in business and your business being a blessing to you and others, you've got to get this foundation things down pat. Because if your foundation is not solid, you can't build anything. And the next thing on his list, freedom from fear. How many people would love to have a couple of bucket loads of that? Freedom from fear. Think about that, folks. I know people that live in fear. There was a time when I lived in fear. And it is a horrible feeling, those of us that's been there and done it. But when you're able to let it go and realize it does not own you, it cannot control you, the freedom from that, it's electrifying. It's exciting. It's tremendous. And there's one thing, the next thing in line here of the 12 things that Napoleon Hill listed, of the things that make you rich. The fifth thing is the hope of future achievement. Oh my goodness gracious. If we don't have hope for tomorrow, or hope that we're going to be able to get the knowledge or get the networking or get the help or make the connection that we need so we can pay our bills and our business, if we don't have that, our life is miserable. Because we all need harmonious human relationships, and having the hope of future achievement, to know that there's a brighter tomorrow, there's a brighter future for you. You're going to be blessed in everything that you do. A little bit more in some areas, maybe a little bit less, but you're going to be blessed in all that you do, even with the things that you learn. Even from your mistakes, you're going to be blessed. Therefore, you can pass that blessing on to others. And that's going to further enhance your capacity to be in a position to receive the blessings that you need, so you have the hope of future achievement. That is absolutely huge. Oh, I tell you, I love these things by Napoleon Hill. Number 6 is the capacity to apply faith. That's very, very huge, because we've got to believe in something. And we think about faith, we normally think about religion, but it's much more than that. Because we've got to have faith in ourselves. We've got to have faith in our associates. We've got to have faith in the people who network with us. We've got to have faith in people who we associate with. And we got to have that capacity to apply faith, because faith is really the glue that kind of helps hold everything together. If it's not the glue, it's definitely the oil, that's for sure. Oh my goodness, we've been talking about this too, and this is what we're doing with our TV show, with our new fall program that we're so excited about. We're going to be talking about what on Monday? Making a difference in business. What on Tuesday? Natural what? Natural health? You thought I was going to say something else. I know you. Wednesday's going to be youth leadership. Thursday, oh my goodness gracious, pets on TV. I know Donna says, yeah, let's don't use the TV, but I like the TV because that's where we're going to be. We're going to be on TV. And of course, Friday is women in leadership. And the reason why we're doing this comes right under the 7 things on the 12 things that make people rich. Number 7 is the willingness to share one's blessings with others. That is so prerequisite for success, because there's been so many proven stories in life, not only biblical stories, but in everyday life, of people that are stingy and greedy and won't share. And guess what? How many people are willing to help those people? Not that many. But people who are known for sharing and caring, it seems like things come their way a little easier. And rightfully so, because that comes from a higher source, ladies and gentlemen. To be able to share your blessing with others. And this is what we saw Donna, Emerson, Gaia, Charlene, Michaela, and me. This is what we saw when we were taking a look at our numbers. We're one of the top shows on E360 TV. And we just really asked the question, how can we give more? And this was the answer that came to us. And this is the why we're doing it. Because therefore we've got 5 different things here, and maybe you just want to hear one thing, and that's fine. Or you may want to hear 2 things. But it really does take us above what we were doing. And that is why that we wanted to share the blessings that we've been shared with. being on TV, having all of those, good people around the world, you folks out there in TV land, thank you so much for making our show a success. And it's our responsibility to you to continue to deliver good programming. Donna and I are very much, since we're the producers and hosts, we're very much in step on that. And that's just the way it's got to be. Oh. Number 8, you're going to love this. Be engaged in a labor of love. Yes, yes, yes. I mean, when it comes to a labor of love, oh my goodness gracious. People ask me, and let me use myself as an example, if I may. They say, Jim, you're 74 years of age. Last October, you had a heart attack. You had to have open heart surgery. And when are you going to retire? And do what? Watch my toenails grow? I really enjoy spending time with you. Whether you're watching me on a cell phone, your laptop, or a big screen TV, I consider it an honor to look you in the eye through the lens here, through the camera and all, and to spend time with you because I understand you have the power to click and cut me off at any time. And the reason why I'm here, the reason why Dawn is here, the reason why we came up with this new programming was because we love what we do. We value what we have. And I hope and I pray from the bottom of my heart, if you're not enjoying what you're doing, please find something that you would enjoy doing. If that is not a option, at least volunteer somewhere as an outlet. It might be at the local animal shelter. It could be at the food banks that they have around where they pass out food and give food, feed the needy. Find a way to do something that you love. It may be, going out and walking. Just had a big bird just hit that window. Did you hear that? We're closed. He wants me to open the door, I guess, and fly through. Anyway, forgive me. But you think about the labor of love. That's when the work goes away, because work is a 4-letter word. And labor of love it's a lifestyle. It enables you to, for people to know that you care about others, that you're there for them. And it's just, I remember one time, I'm trying to think, I wouldn't mention his name if I could, but I remember him. He worked in Houston and he had a job at a big company, a lot of responsibility. And he was working, he'd get up early. He'd be gone by 5 a.m, come home 9:30, 10, 11 o'clock at night. And he did not go to the bar after hours. He was there in the office. He was a workaholic. And then one time, because we lived in the Fleetwood area there off a memorial there in Houston. And he told me, he says, Jim, he said, I'm just not happy anymore. And he was making 6 digits a year back then. This is back in the 90s, early 90s. And he said, I'm just not happy. He says, all I've got is a job. I'm good at it. I produce. That's why they pay me the big bucks. But he says, I'm not happy. And I understood that. And he says, you know what I'm going to do? He says, I'm going to find a job. It's going to pay less money, but it's going to give me more time with my family. And that's exactly what he did. Even though he was making less money, the labor of love that he had doing this new job that he enjoyed doing, he could dedicate all of his time to it, 8 hours a day to it, then get up and go home and then be with his family. That made the difference in his life for him. Because money, as we'll see here in a few moments, it is the last thing on planet Earth that can ever make you happy. Number 9. Oh, do we need a lot of this today? An open mind on all subjects toward all people. Oh my goodness. We see a lot of people at each other's throats. If they disagree with each other, they want to snarl and attack and name call and all that. My goodness gracious. Think of all the hate and the venom and vomit that they're spewing on each other. Not physical vomit, obviously, but the emotional, the spiritual type of vomit, which is just as worse. You think about that, and if someone thinks different than you, if someone has a different God than you do, or if someone has a different political outlook on life than you do, we should be open-minded about it. Just say, hey, that's okay. I'll respect that, and you can live your life the way you want to. It's your prerogative. It's your right. You can do it, but please don't shove your thoughts and your ideas down on me. That's critical because it isn't right. Therefore, having an open mind on all subjects towards all people, and that means to agree to disagree in a respectful way. Excuse me there. But yeah, that's exactly what it means, because if we don't, that generates hate, that generates venom, and the negative things of life that all fall under worry. It cannot coexist with love. It just cannot. There's no way it can. And when you think about the things that really worry you and stuff like that, oh my goodness. Think about 5 years ago. You were probably worried about something, but can you recall it? Probably not, right? So it's important for us to have an open mind on all things, on all subjects towards all people. Number 10 is complete self-discipline. That's a biggie for people in business, isn't it? Oh, yeah. How many times do you know deep down inside that you need to get something done? Or someone's waiting on you or depending on you to get something done and you haven't done it. And you choose, well, I'll do that first thing in the morning. The best thing that you can do is simply push that self-starter. 3 little words: do it now. When you start to procrastinate, just say, push that little self-starter, do it now. Then immediately get up and get into action. That's critical, because then you're training your brain that when you say, I'm going to do it now, we're going to do it now. It's not an option for us to procrastinate and put it off, because there's too many people depending on you. There's too many things that, besides that, if you're sharing a blessing, why would you want to put it off? Think about that. My goodness. If you want to be blessed, would you want to be blessed now or mañana? That's a good way of looking at it. And number 11 is the wisdom which to understand people. That was one of the things that Solomon prayed for. It was kind of ironic, those that follow the history of the Jewish Bible. It records that Solomon could have asked for anything on planet Earth. He would have been given. Boom. But he didn't. He asked for a heart that could understand and rule and be a good ruler and govern. And he was given that. And then, as the Bible records in the history of the Jewish history, is that God told him, says, hey, you could have asked for all the gold in the world and I would have given it to you. You could have asked for anything physical and I would have given it to you. But you asked for something from a much higher source. And so God doesn't have any need for silver and gold up there, because, it just doesn't. Because he's got stuff that's so much more greater than that. He's okay, you can have all this too. And history has proven that Solomon was the richest man in the world during his lifetime. No question about it. He was also known for his wisdom. So it's really amazing how, we need to have the wisdom, or at least try to understand people. If we don't understand people, forgive them and let them go. And the last thing on the 12 things that make you rich is financial security. Notice that money comes at the end of the list, as Mr. Hill talks about, because money can never buy happiness. It really can't. It can make your life easier, obviously, but can it really make you happy? And that answer is no. And, whenever it comes to our life, we want to make sure that we know what our purpose is in life. What is your purpose? When you talk to Bill Heinrich, if you schedule a talk with him about, he's going to ask you what your purpose is in life. And you got to understand that when we're talking about your purpose in life, this is your natural calling. Because you may be trying to go in one direction and you feel that's your calling in life. But no matter how hard you work or no matter how hard you try, it just seems like you can't push yourself through a brick wall. And that may be the force, the energy force saying, hey, you're not supposed to be going that direction. I'm going to take you in another direction, because so many times, I guess we all have, I know I have multiple times in my life. I know Donna and the rest of us here at the TV station have. Our lives have been different. I mean, we've been, different than it was 10 years ago or 20 years ago. I mean, think about what we were doing then, the direction we're going in. Think about your direction 10 years ago, 20 years ago, if you're that old. Think about what we were planning on doing. This is the route. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to accomplish. Yada, yada, yada. And then you look at it now, you go like, whoa, I'm way over here. But you also, normally, you're probably at a higher plane. If you're going through struggles and things like that, it means there's some lessons for you to learn to be able to go to the next higher level. It's kind of like you got to graduate, right? And that's the way you want to look at it, because that's extremely important. And desire is one of the things that really is a starting point of all achievement. When you're wanting to make a difference in your life, and you have a business, a home, and we're going to be covering home-based businesses and things of this nature. We're also going to be sharing some free stuff with you down the way there. For example, since I said that, I might as well go ahead and say this. I used to have a fear of public speaking. I'm talking about a deathly fear that scarred me for decades. And when I became an instructor, an older instructor came up to me after I gave my initial presentation to graduate from the Battle Focus Instructor Training course. And this is where that's where you take a TM and you create a class how to perform maintenance on a particular, whatever the TM is about, if it's about a weapon or a tank or whatever, and you got to write out, figure out, start from the alpha to the omega and create this, lesson plan. And then you got to deliver it. And I was awful. I mean, I'm not exaggerating here. I had to go into the bathroom because they said, we're going to take a little break. And after that, I'm going to be back. I said, sorry, Grant's going to come in and he's going to share with us his lesson plan. And so I go into the bathroom, I'm washing my face with water. I look up and I'm pale. It felt like I'm inhaling air, but I'm not getting any oxygen. Oh man. And my throat was tight and I forgot a few things that I had written down. Just like, of course, in this case here, I wrote down national health instead of natural health. So I read what I wrote. But, and this instructor older came up to me and he says, you may not believe this, but he says, you got the potential to be a great instructor. And I looked at him and I thought, you got to be kidding me. I have a fear of public speaking. I don't even know why I got sucked in on this deal. I mean, I could hear my dad's words. Son, when does this seem like a good idea to you? But through that horrible experience, I learned about glossophobia, the fear of public speaking. And with this older instructor's help, he taught me how to conquer the fear of public speaking. And that's going to be a free gift from me to you. All you got to do on anything that you have a question about here at the TV show is just send us an email at inspiration@e360tv.com. That's inspiration at E as in Echo 360 TV, as in Tango Victor.com. And we'll be glad to get it to you because that's one of my gifts that I want to give back to you, because if you have the fear of public speaking, I've been there. And it's free. There's no strings attached. I'm not going to try to send you or sell you other courses by contacting you or anything like that. We're going to have courses available here that on this program for those that could use the benefit of it. And we will do that individually, that sort of thing. But my gift to you would be the fear of overcoming the fear of public speaking, because I know how horrible that feels. And you can, if I can conquer it, I know you can too. I just wanted to share that with you because it's so important to be able to live your life that you have a calling for and not let something like glossophobia paralyze you. Because if you think it, it controls you, you're right. And it comes down to a question of how bad do you want it? And where's your faith at in yourself? Where's your faith at in your ability? You didn't come down this path just for the Creator to say, I told you you couldn't speak in front of people. I told you you couldn't do that. And God did not make brother-in-laws to criticize. Everything we try to do is, I told him that wouldn't work. Love them and consider them be a blessing in your life, and consider yourself super blessed that you don't think like they do. Can I get an amen on that? But it's so important for us to have faith in ourselves, to believe in ourselves. And we're going to be covering the full gamut as I get ready to close here, because we're just about out of time. And but in this, on every Monday for the rest of the year, we're going to be talking about making a difference in business and how you can make a difference creating a business for yourself or improving your business if you already have one, how you can enhance the lifestyle of your family, your friends, even strangers. How about charities? How about children that are hungry? Children that need clothes and shoes and food and books to read. That's making a difference. It's not about feeling good going to the bank and cashing your check. It's about giving and sharing and helping others. That's what makes you rich. And then, of course, on Tuesday, natural health. Oh my goodness gracious. We're going to be covering a lot of things there, and we're going to be bringing on some subject matter experts. And I promise you this, and this is coming from Donna and me and everyone here behind the scenes at the TV station. Everything that we put on there is not going to be some hyper diaper stuff, okay? That's what I call it. Let me give you an example. One thing that really bothers me is when people hear some guru on TV, and I'll just use one of the, well, I better not, I might get in trouble. So I won't use the herb astaxanthin as an example. But anyway, this guru praised this product, and it's a great product. I'll tell you that right up front. It's a very good product. It's very great and all that, and it's got documentation behind it. Okay. But my point being, people just blindly went out and bought it. And when it got short, other people who are not as, well, let's just say their focus is profit over people. And that's all I'm going to say. Okay. But they provided inferior products at the same price. And so my point being, make sure when you buy something, you do two things. Actually, three. You want to be able to, number one, as I'm going to say, you're going to discuss this with your doctor, medical personnel, someone that's a subject matter expert in the particular area that you're interested in, and talk to them about what you're going to do, what you're thinking about doing, and so on and so forth. So get that good medical advice. That's priority one. Number two, buy from a trusted source. Number three, cheapest in the long run is never least expensive. Cheapest in the long run may, just may, I'm not saying it is, but I'm saying it may be an inferior product. Okay. And also, too, just don't take anything blindly and just jump on it. I remember back in the 80s, and I'm going to close with this here because we're running short on time. Back in the 80s, early 80s, there was a big push on garlic. And people were talking about garlic this, garlic that, garlic the other. And see, a lot of these claims that they were saying that people were hearing had never been proven. So everything that we have on our show on Tuesday, Natural Health, it will be clinically proven. But my wife came to me and she says, "Hey, Jim," she says, "why don't we take garlic?" I says, "I don't want to take garlic. That stuff gives people horrible breath." I mean, we run into people say, "Oh, excuse me, I've been taking garlic," and they cover their mouth and all that. I said, "I don't want weasel breath like everybody else." So she found this garlic that had, I think it was rose hips. I don't remember now, but anyway, it was supposed to squelch down, or, you wouldn't have weasel or garlic breath. And so I started taking it. About the same time I started taking it, I had bought some flea and tick collars with a little chemical on them, for my dogs. And so I had two of them. I put one on each dog, obviously. And I broke out in a big rash right here on the side of my neck. And it was weird looking. It wasn't just a typical rash or anything like that. My skin got swollen. It turned red. It looked kind of like a piece of leather in a way. And it itched like fury. Oh my goodness. I mean, I'd wake up at night and I'd be scratching, it was horrible. I put ice on it and everything else. It was miserable. And Ellen says, "Jim, why don't you stop taking garlic?" And I thought, well, it can't be garlic. I mean, I heard all these wonderful things about garlic. It can't be that. My brain was telling me that evidently I got some of that chemical off of the dog's collars, and I scratched my neck and boom, that's what happened. And she said, "Well, just the same, why don't you stop taking garlic and see?" I said, "Okay." So I stopped taking garlic, and a couple of days, 3 days later, it had all cleared up. I thought, oh, okay, that chemical from the collar, was the culprit. So now I can go back to taking garlic. I went back to taking garlic. Same thing. So what's good for the goose is not good for the gander. So whenever you hear something, be prudent. Do your homework when it comes to your natural health with herbs and things like that, and check it out with your doctor and so forth. Then on Wednesday, of course, we're going to be doing the youth leadership. And again, that's going to be young entrepreneurs and people who also encourage youth in giving back to their community to help the young people to have a good, positive mentor in their life. Excuse me. And then, of course, on Thursday, Pets on TV. I like that one there. I love animals. And then, of course, Friday, we're going to be doing women in leadership. And ladies and gentlemen, our time is gone. Be sure and let everyone know that during the rest of this year, on Monday, we'll have Making a Difference in Business. 2 will be the natural health. I should have wrote that out or scratched that out. Anyway, on Wednesday is going to be youth leadership, Pets on TV, and of course, Friday will be women in leadership. Just remember that we're excited here. I think you can see how excited I am. Can't read right, can't write right. I actually wrote down the word national. I actually did. There it is. Did that all by the big three, me, myself, and I. Anyway, we've got to run. Hope you have enjoyed the show. We look forward to being with you tomorrow. We're going to be talking about natural health. Oh, my goodness. I bet you I'm going to hear about that from the rest of the crew. Anyway, we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bless you. Bye-bye. Have a good